What makes an effective superhero or villain entrance? Is it always flash and pizzazz, a glorious or bombastic reveal? We all know them, we have seen them before, and they can be downright cool and memorable. We all love them. But are such heroic entrances in movies always so warranted? Or can understatement be even more effective? In this video, I argue understatement is a highly potent and underused method for introducing heroes or villains in film, and a perfect example of this can be found in Paul Verhoeven's original Robocop. The character introduction is only one reason why the movie is so well done and an enduring classic.
You're gonna be a bad motherfucker.
If you haven't seen the original Robocop from 1987, then do yourself a favor and watch it when you get a chance. The movie is famous for a reason, and we may have more episodes on why it is such a brilliant and memorable creation. But for today, we will look at a brief sequence wherein Robocop makes his initial appearance. First, some examples of typical superhero entrances for comparison. Now, I'm not saying these entrances are bad or off-kilter from what they ought to be. They suit their respective movies. For instance, in Ang Lee's Hulk, the first emergence of Bruce into the Green Monster is very well executed, and suits the overall feel and character of the film. Rage to transformation. It works. This kind of reveal should be intense and scary, and it is. Moreover, it does take some time for Bruce to get to the point of being the Hulk. But note how nearly all of the previous examples have the same kind of approach: glamour and spectacle. There is dramatic lighting, there is an orchestral swell, there's a brief pause where the hero seems to be standing for a photo shoot, then goes off to rescue the world, or to wreak havoc in it. That may work fine, and some of them are genuinely cool as stated. But for Robocop, it's an entirely different game, and that is what makes it so noteworthy. The following sequence demonstrates this noteworthiness and is a true gem of filmmaking. Why? Well, let's take a look at it and then break it down.
Bring him in through the side door!
This holding cell in this court's been set up for observation. Looks perfect.
What is this all about?
Who's this guy? Sergeant John.
What's this all about?
It's about official OCP business, so please, get lost.
I figure we got 4 or 5 days set up.
Hey, this is bullshit! I take my orders from...
What is this shit?
Isn't that such a cool entrance? Let's break down why this works so well. It starts with the prelude to this scene. First, there's the setup to this emergence. About 5 minutes prior to this, Verhoeven shows us reality from Robocop's point of view in a very static and contained manner. We are fixed in place as spectators. We almost feel like we are a prisoner of the film itself.
Still rolling.
Shit!
Then Verhoeven teases us with several cutscenes from this first-person point of view, indicating a kind of non-standard procedural collage.
We get the best of both worlds.
Finally, we are treated to the first glimpse of Robocop, and it's done in such a clever and masterful way. Watch this.
It is my great pleasure to present to you Robocop. Come on, come on, come on, come on. That's for you. That's for you. Go, Robo.
The The brilliance of the initial reveal, that is, the very first time we get a look at Robocop, is really only for about 3 seconds, almost as an afterthought. We barely get a partial shot of him, and it's via a monitor within the scene itself. I believe this to be a stroke of genius in cinema. Really, just brilliant. This kind of device is hardly ever employed, and I'm hard-pressed to think of instances where this visual masterstroke has been duplicated effectively in other films. For most modern-day moviegoers born after the 1980s, this initial glimpse may not seem like much or worthy of mention. In fact, it may strike some as underwhelming or flat. After all, it's not like the typical big fanfare parade of modern-day superhero entrances replete with glamour and swelling musical leitmotif. I mean, it's supposed to be exciting, and this isn't, right? Perhaps. But for the people who watched this in the 80s theaters, it was tremendously exciting. If you were a kid like me and somehow snuck into the theater to see it, don't tell my mom, you would be jumping out of your seat at this small tease within the build-up reveal. Verhoeven cleverly gives us an appetizer, then switches immediately to another scene in another locale. It builds up even more excitement for the full reveal, but it doesn't end there. We are now in a police station full of disarrayed and frustrated cops. Robocop's appearance is both sudden and gradual. The moment we hear him approaching, everything goes dead silent and still. In a contemporary and, frankly, lesser movie, there would likely be a huge amount of noise or musical cue, something dramatic. Not here. Note the only sounds are of Robocop's machinations, which is dramatic in its own right without being bombastic. And the accompanying shot of our hero is through translucent glass. You can't even see him clearly. More build-up, more excitement. You have the perfect expression by an exasperated cop and onlookers. They stop dead in their tracks. I don't think I've ever seen anyone emote surprise and confusion so well while keeping a completely straight face. Then note how the camera pans so we only get a brief backside shot of the protagonist as he walks away. The restraint here is brilliant, because it further arouses our curiosity without being drawn out or pretentious. Summarily, the movie takes its time without being boring. Verhoeven holds back and is insightful enough to read the audience. They will be eager to see more of this during the slow build, so he clones this excitement in the reaction of the cops witnessing the entire thing. We become the police, eager to see what is going on. Who is Robocop? What is this? What is happening? Show us already. In a lesser film, perhaps they would not have shown the entire prelude of Robocop in the lab, or it would have been a far, far shorter exposition, maybe just a couple of minutes in the lab, some hazy collage of voices, and then he's revealed, dramatically, blasting away at criminal scum as an unstoppable force 1 or 2 scenes later. But this trope is something Verhoeven avoids entirely, thank goodness. Instead of instant bombastic transformation, we get to see and feel the potential and excitement of this formidable super cop come to life. Back to the scene. Once we follow the "It's Christmas morning" cops into the back room with our protagonist, the movie very cleverly keeps the mystery going, although in a different way. By placing a barrier between the audience and the action on screen in the form of a physical cage, we are held at arm's length, almost being told to wait. I don't know if this was an intentional decision to create more isolation between the audience and Robocop, but in having the cage present, it's almost as if the movie is telegraphing, be patient, wait.
Tastes like baby food. Knock yourself out.
Note again, no bombastic musical cue, nor heroic poses, nor hard-jawed battle-ready stares into the camera, none of that. The subtext here is excitement, curiosity, and restraint. Robocop is a new, exciting toy at an exposition at this point, even though we want him to be much, much more. When he is finally set loose on the city to fight crime, we get to see more of his superhero capabilities and, frankly, badassery, if that's even a word. The first is in an attempted robbery of a convenience store.
1, 2. Drop the gun. You are under arrest.
At last, we get to see some of the hero in action. But I argue the true reveal occurs shortly after this event when a woman is being assaulted near an alleyway. By the way, if you are enjoying this analysis, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We're going to be publishing new content every week. It's a brand new channel, and I have a lot of content in the pipeline. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and share it if you like it.
Please like and subscribe. You have 20 seconds to comply.
I think you'd better do what he says, Mr.
Internet user. Now watch the follow-up scene. The subtext here is magical and effortless. It's not over the top, overbearing, or extravagant. Note, again, the lack of an orchestral cue. There is no music or manipulation of emotions. The only sounds are the foreboding buzz and clank of Robocop's machinery and the interaction between characters. It's subdued, ominous, and absolutely thrilling.
Let the woman go. You are under arrest.
In addition to the wonderful sounds, we are shown his intimidating shadow on the wall growing larger behind the assailants. This telegraphs an elemental force towering above anything these petty criminals can do. As I was saying, I argue this is the true reveal moment. Note how it's only at this point in which Verhoeven shows us a full body shot of Robocop. And it's an awesome shot. That armor is so cool. It still holds up to even this day. Then is followed by another beautifully framed cut of his hulking shadow on the wall, and a perspective which makes the criminals look ridiculously underpowered. Keep in mind, this is almost a full 10 minutes film runtime after Robocop was first activated. What follows is brutal and hilarious, and justified, but Robocop shows us film mastery with an understated entrance that takes its time building up. This can be even more effective than the typical "sound the trumpets, there's a photo shoot" entrances of heroes in contemporary film. I think modern-day filmmakers could learn a lot from the older classics like Robocop. Not everything needs to be loud or glamorous to be noteworthy. Sometimes the lack of a statement is the best one to make. What do you think? Do you think this is an accurate analysis? Leave a comment below, let me know your thoughts. And remember to like and subscribe. It'll really help the channel out.
Thank you for your cooperation. Good night.
In addition to the wonderful sounds, we are shown as By the way, if you are enjoying this analysis, we are now in a police station full of disarrayed and frustrated cops. Robocop's appearance, not appliance, although that kind of makes sense,